The job of being a driver is a hard one. Combined with the demands of life away from the job, fatigue can become a real problem. So what exactly are the things that contribute to fatigue? Behind me, Dr. Chris Jones, who is a leading authority on fatigue, is talking to some drivers about the causes of fatigue and how to prevent it.
What can we do about it?
The first thing you've got to consider is the body clock. Our bodies run to about a 24-hour cycle, so we're awake during the day and asleep during the night.
Right, and how does that affect our body clock?
People who work shift work or irregular hours can get a feeling like jet lag.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
Another thing you need to consider is health and lifestyle issues. Greasy food like that is not particularly helpful. Healthy food, keeping yourself fit, that will help you manage your fatigue.
What about coffee? That seems to do the trick for me.
Yeah, caffeine can be a temporary pick-me-up, but over time it will develop into a thing called tolerance, which means that you'll need more of the same thing to get the same amount of buzz. And in the long term, you may run into medical problems such as gastrointestinal upset, things like that.
Quite often I find it hard to get to sleep even though I'm really tired.
Well, there are some medical conditions that can affect your ability to get a good restorative sleep. A particular one is called sleep apnea. However, the important thing to know is that these conditions can be treated, and if they're properly treated, you can still work as normal.
So, Doc, what can I do about fatigue then?
Well, basically, you've got to sleep. If you can't sleep, you can have a nap, and that's best done when you would naturally be sleepy, so at night or in the early afternoon, say 3 to 4 p.m. Other important things to consider are the environment that you're trying to have the nap in. So, for example, it's got to be dark, quiet, temperature say in the low 20 degrees.
Like we've got time to get a few hours beauty sleep.
Yeah, you need as much as you can get.
Look, the nap doesn't have to be long. It can be as short as 10 minutes to get a boost in your performance. But the important thing to remember is you mustn't nap longer than 30 or 40 minutes, because then you start to run to a thing called sleep inertia. Sleep inertia is that feeling of grogginess that you get when after a long sleep. It takes you a little while to work it out of your system. It may take 15 to 20 minutes to wear off.
So, there's nothing else we can do?
When it gets down to it, you need a decent night's sleep. Minimum of 6 hours per night, ideally 8 hours a night. If you get less than the 8 hours a night, you will start to accrue a sleep debt. And each time you get less than 8 hours a night, it will keep on increasing until you pay it back with a longer sleep. It's a bit like a monetary debt. You've got to pay it back at some point. But the bottom line is you've got to get a decent amount of sleep.
Long or excessive working hours, unreasonable deadlines and inflexible time slots put extreme pressure on drivers, both physically and mentally. Many drivers do the right things to prevent fatigue, but sometimes the expectations of other parties in the supply chain create situations where the inevitable outcome is fatigue.